What is up, YouTube? So back, we're here. Let's talk about it. UFC Kansas City. We had Ian Machado, Cuckboy Gary versus Carlos Overrated Prates. Solid card. Wasn't really paying attention for first of it, for like the first half of it, maybe a little bit more. Was too busy grinding this show game, unfortunately. Bad card to kind of skip. Kind of wish I did that more with the Murphy and Emmett fight night, but it is what it is. Great fight card. A lot of solid fights. A lot of people that look pretty good on this one. So. We'll start off with the first one, fight of the year, Jocelyn Edwards versus Chelsea Chandler. You know, what I tell you, fight of the year potential. Insane. I couldn't believe what I was watching. No, it's whatever. Chelsea Chandler really just chin wide up in the air. Didn't look like she knew what she was doing as she was getting back in the cage. Edwards just started piecing her up. It was kind of crazy. I did have Edwards in the first round. However, I had Edwards sub. So she did by KO. Who would have seen that coming in the women's division? Not me. But it is what it is. Fantastic win for Jocelyn Edwards. I hope she gets top 15 next at women's bantamweight, which really isn't saying much. So put her up there. Let's see what she's at on a fight. She's got to be on like a 3 fight win streak. Two? Oh, she lost to Eileen Perez. Oh, yeah, she still deserves top 15. So we'll give her that one. But good one for Jocelyn Edwards. You know, the real La Pantera. Am I right? Fuck you, Yair. Oh, whatever. Going on to the next one, we got Timmy Kawamba versus Roberto Romero. I wish I was more tuned in for this fight. When I was kind of sneaking looks on the screen, it looked like it was crazy. I like just looked away as the flying knee landed, or I just looked as it. I don't know. Something happened, but it's kind of crazy. I did have Kwamba, but I had him by decision. He did it by second round knockout. Good for Kwamba though. First win in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. Started off with 2 losses, so this is good for him. But yeah, seemed like it was a pretty good fight. Moving on to the next one, though, we have Jacqueline Amorim, who defeated Polyana Viana via sub in the second round. I remember, like, as I was, like, watching Amorim walk out, or it was, like, as they were announcing her name, I was like, oh, yeah, isn't she, like, actually pretty decent? And she showed to be pretty decent, but like I said, kind of going into this, like I do question Polyana Vienna's commitment to the game. Not that she was ever that good, but yeah, like Amorim made it look way too easy. Got the finish when I didn't think she would, but I still thought she was going to beat Polyana, and you would have to be blind not to think so because she was a minus 900 favorite going into that fight. So makes sense. Is what it is. As for Polyana, Mm, I'm fine with them cutting her. I'm fine with them keeping her around just because she's really hot. It is what it is. Moving on. Next fight. Malcolm Wellmaker defeated Cameron Simon in the first round by KO. Also looked like a pretty decent fight from the moments I was watching it. Um, Simon looked decent. Like he always looks decent. It's just now we got to question durability. Even though he's probably faced some of the hardest hitting bantamweights. But yeah, tough for Cameron Simon. I wouldn't be surprised if they caught him and then re-sign him a few years down the road. He's so young. He's like 23 or 24. Wellmaker essentially just like I think they both threw it was either a right hook or a left hook. Simons connected first, did absolutely nothing. Wellmaker was still able to follow through and just absolutely put him down. Crazy. Wellmaker's probably going to be on the watch list. Just found out his nickname is also the Machine. I doubt Marab will ever be champion by the time Wellmaker makes it up to that very competitive division, but I would love to see a Machine versus Machine title fight one day. Doubt it. Absolutely doubt it, but that'd be pretty fun. But great win for Wellmaker. Like I said, watch list potential now for sure. He just kind of made it look fairly easy, just was composed the whole time and just found that KO at bantamweight, round one. This dude's legit. I'm excited. So he will be added to the watch list once I remove a few people because I still got to update it. Shout out to Malcolm Wellmaker though, and hopefully Cameron Simon gets back in there and get back on a hype train again or something. Pull like a Brandon Moreno, get cut, come back, and look better as ever, and contend for a title. Who knows? But on to the next fight, we got Damon Blackshear versus Alatang Haley. Um, wasn't really tuned in for it, but it did look like a good fight, especially early on. Blackshear was just lining up that right straight, had teeps to the body, the leg kicks, and just kind of looked like Alatang Haley had like no answer for her initially. Second round did kind of get scrappy. Yeah, I think I might have scored it for Alatang Haley. I think I did actually, yeah. And then third round, I had Blackshear. I felt like it was a little closer than people remember, but like I said, I was kind of like in and out. Just kind of wish I paid a little more attention. Did have Blackshear though in that, and I think I forgot to mention I had a Wellmaker third round KO. He did in the first. That's a win. Blackshear I had by decision. Oh wait, no, I didn't. I had him second round sub. I feel like when Blackshear fights, I'm usually Ben second round sub, unless it's like against a Bautista or something like that. So he did by decision. Alatong Haley just hung in there, had some moments himself, but Blackshear, clearly the better fighter for sure. So we'll love to see him kind of get a shot right outside the top 15. He just fought recently. He's got some momentum again. Give him a guy top 50, outside top 15. Winner gets into the rankings. On to the next fight, though, we had Chris Gutierrez defeating John Castaneda by decision. That's why I bet. I bet Gutierrez by decision. However, watching it live, and I would say I'm going to rewatch it, but I'm really not. I don't feel like losing 15, 20 minutes out of my hard-earned free time to rewatch this fight. But if I were to watch back this fight, maybe I think differently. However, I did think Castaneda won the fight. So close, though. I'm not screaming robbery by any means. I'm just saying, if I was a judge, you put me in the mind of a Sal D'Amato, I'm probably picking Castaneda. So I had Gutierrez round one because it's a knockdown. I don't know, think about it. I think I did watch this whole fight because I kind of remember most of it, or more than I should. But I had Castaneda in the second round. That second round was so close because I think I counted there was like three decent moments from each fighter. So I think to start the round, Gutierrez. I don't know if I think he dropped him with the leg kick. Like, it was a drop. It wasn't like he tripped. Like, he dropped him with a leg kick. And then, wow. And then I think Castaneda had, like, two solid moments. And then Gutierrez had another one. Then Castaneda did. And then, my brain, it hurts. I can't even remember. But that second round was so close. I forget what really pushed me to do Castaneda. I think Castaneda landed like a straight right that got a big reaction out of Gutierrez. Like, with like a minute left in that second round. And then third round, Gutierrez did nothing. Castaneda barely did anything on the ground with him. But yeah, that's why I scored it for Castaneda. But yeah, thinking back, that second round was so close. I really don't mind that. I also won money off that too. I look like a genius, even though I scored it the other way. But tried to be unbiased, and you know, like I said, that second round was so close. Yeah, Gutierrez though did exactly what I thought he'd do, point fight, and nothing wrong with that. A win's a win. You're trying to provide for your family. This type of stuff will eventually get you a title. We saw Marab and Bilal do it, you know. If he just keeps on doing that, like he'll be fine. But yeah, it was I honestly would say it was a more entertaining Gutierrez fight than some of the other ones. However, I still wasn't too impressed. So moving on to the next fight, though, we have Evan Elder defeating Gage Young by decision. I did tell you it was going to be a crazy fight. It wasn't like crazy, crazy. We'll get to a crazy fight very soon here, but it was a pretty entertaining fight for sure. I think I had Evan Elder all three rounds, or maybe I gave Gage Young like a round two or three. I don't know, but I had Evan Elder winning. He did win. I thought it was gonna be first round KO. Gage Young is he's got chin, so that's pretty good. You know, both these guys. I don't think there'll ever be anything crazy, but I could see them being like maybe decent vets that kind of win two, lose two, just kind of stay around that way. But either way, good win for Evan Elder. Um, yeah, see what happens with them. On to the next fight. This is the first one at this point, at least fighter wise, that I got incorrect. I was what 6 for 6 going into that? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, seven. So I was 7-0 in terms of picking the right fighter to win going up to this point. I, I, I knew I was going to regret it. I did Jimmy Flick. He won the first round. And then here we are in 2025, and people are still jumping guillotines. I think Flick did two or three times. Schnell did at least once too. And I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, and I thought Flick was a good grappler. That's why I kind of like bet him. But I scored round one for Flick. Outside the ground control at the very end of the round and everything, and I think he had a couple submission attempts. In like the first minute or 2 minutes, he hit Schnell with I believe like four right hands in a row, and like Schnell just wasn't blocking him; he was just eating them, and I think he got like partially stunned for a little. He was like, it's like woke up or something. But yeah, the last two rounds, I thought that was easy to score for Schnell. It was a somewhat entertaining fight. Most people were saying it was an absolute banger. I mean, I don't think I'll rewatch it either, but if I were, maybe I'd think differently. But you know, first one, I'm 7-1 going into this, so it was a really good card for me. Moving on to an absolute dime I called, which was honestly I don't even feel like this is that impressive to call. Like most people probably picked this, but you know, I don't watch people pick things first. I just go on here, usually on a Saturday night after one card or Sunday or the next, pick everyone for the week and then rock with it. Still think I have yet to modify anything specifically. I like to rock with it. I like to trust my initial judgment, but I'm sure eventually I'll change it. But yeah, I think when I picked this and then I watched everyone else, I think most of them had a Liskarov KO first round, second round, so it's not as impressive as I thought it was initially, but I still had a Liskarov first round KO. I think this is when I started playing show again, so I wasn't really tuned in until I think I tuned in the last like 30 seconds of that round, and that's how I was able to see it. And I was going crazy. I was like, let's go, this is awesome. Clean left hook, I believe, right around the guard. Muniz. Tough for Muniz. Probably gets cut at this point. I don't see them keeping him around, but you know, it is what it is. Liskarov, that's what I expect from him, so I'm not even gonna say I'm not impressed, honestly. Like he should be KOing what's his name? A 36-year-old Andre Muniz, so it is what it is. I still think Ikram needs like another unranked win before we can start talking top 15. But I'm glad he went out there and made a statement after that bad Whitaker loss. So maybe it was the multiple weight cuts that really affected him, or I think it was just a level of competition just really stepped down. But tough scene for Muniz. Probably got to cut him. And Aliskerov, like I said, let's get him another win before we start talking anything else and kind of go from there. On to the next fight, though, we have absolute banger. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, this isn't like me just trolling, being like Chelsea Chandler, Jocelyn Edwards fight of the year. Um, this was actually, it's not my fight of the year, but it is up there. Randy Brown defeating Nicholas Dalby by KO in the second round. I had Randy Brown, but I had him by decision. I didn't think Dalby would get finished. Randy Brown looked so good, though. He was just using his reaches, connecting on the end of all of his punches. It looked so good, honestly. But it was kind of crazy that first round. So Randy's piecing him. I'm like getting worried. I'm like, like he's gonna make this look like easier than I thought. And then all of a sudden, Dalby drops him, and I'm like, whoa, we got a fight going on. Going into the second, I think actually in the first, Randy broke his nose like early. Actually, I think it was like really early in the first, and Dalby's just fighting through, being Dalby. Like, got so much respect for Dalby. Honestly, this dude is crazy. But in the second round, I think Dalby might have gotten a few in there before, or no. I think Randy literally just went out there and essentially just started put it on him, cutting off the cage and everything. I think, and then essentially Dalby was just like, fuck it, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to just start throwing hooks, chin wide open in the air. And then Randy just like absolutely capitalized, drops him. Holloway-esque. I hate using it, but it kind of was. Fantastic statement for Randy Brown. I would like to think they gave him a bonus of some sort. It'd be absolute robbery if they did not, but I'm very glad he was able to sneak out that win. So good for Randy Brown. I'm fine if they give him top 15. I think he's earned it since the JDM fight. I forget. Did he lose the battle, or I think he should have won and he lost? Is that what happened? Yeah, that's so stupid. Never mind. But yeah, good for Randy Brown. He's been looking pretty solid recently. So excited to see what they do for him next after a statement win like that. On to the next one, though, we have another one that I knew I was going to eat my freaking words, bro. A slot fest, but at middleweight. Could you believe it? Michel Pereira versus Abus Magomedov. I said Michel Pereira by first round KO. I knew as I was picking, I was like, this is so going to backfire. I understand. I knew that Michel Pereira apparently does 2-week training camps or something like that. He gassed out, like, he wasn't even throwing much, too. He wasn't even being as reckless, and he was still completely gassed by the end of the first. And Abus Magomedov was gassed again, too. This guy still can't figure out his cardio. Absolutely crazy to me. I really don't think either of these guys, honestly. I think it's a shame that Boost is going to be ranked after this, but I don't see him getting much further up until he fixes his cardio. The cardio is always going to be an issue, like a serious issue. So Yeah, not really impressed like at all with that fight. So we'll see what they do with them next. But honestly, gosh, part of me kind of just like cut them both. But no, you need Michelle for like he's just like a good filler like on a stacked pay per view like prelims. Can't put him on main card after his last two performances. You can't really trust that anymore. But you can still put him on the prelims. I feel like even some of the casuals know him because of all the craziness he's done in the past. But yeah, the past two fights, man, my stock, or not my stock, my hopes and his stock, Michel Pereira, has dropped tremendously. He is just. I thought moving up the middleweight, I was like, oh man, he's like legit now. Like this dude's gonna be a real problem now. He's just going to be floating around and right outside top 15. He'll kill the cans, but then he'll lose to anyone with some talent. Even if they gas out just as fast as them, he'll still find a way to lose to them. So, yeah, that fight was boring. I'm glad I was like kind of not paying attention to it, but it is what it is, man. Um, on to the next fight, though. We had David Onama beating Giga Chikadze by decision. I had Chikadze by decision. Close fight. I wasn't really paying attention because that was when I was really, really active in the show. But I think I had first round for Giga because I think he knocked down Onama or something, or he stunned Onama. Even though Onama was winning the round up until that point, I think. Onama I had in the second. And then the third, nothing happened from either fighter, so Onama just had the top control. Um, it is what it is, can't do much about it. I really don't think too highly of either of these guys, but it's nice to see like a new face in the featherweight rankings. So shout out to Onama. I hope he gets better, and I hope maybe do him versus Gene Silva? Probably not, because they're both young. You probably want them to face down the line once Volk is out of there, Yair and Ortega. So probably save that matchup. But I don't know what they'll do for Onami yet. It depends on how high they want to jump him up. I hope they don't do anything too crazy. But like they just blessed him with giving him number 12 in the world instead of having him wait to fight like an Ige or something crazy. So shout out David Onama, great win. Got that wrong. Nah, whatever. On to the next fight though. Ming Yang Zhang versus Anthony Smith. Oh, Diamond Catcher. Oh, it's gonna be trash. Ah, trash. Hate to see that. Whatever. Yeah, so Ming Yang Zhang, he won first round KO. I had second round KO. Dude, Anthony Smith. There was like one point in the fight, and maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. I don't care. Where Anthony Smith was landing some elbows, and then it was almost like Ming Yang Zhang was like, wait a second, I have crazy elbows. And then he just threw like seven in a row that just got through the guard. And then eventually one of them just cut the bald head of Anthony Smith. And then blood started pouring down. And then started getting in his eye. And then it was like right there. I was like, oh, this is done. I was like, this is so done. So, yeah, Anthony Smith retires. I'm so glad. Get him out of the sport. And it's not even that I hate Anthony Smith. It's just like when you're like that bad and it's just like you're showing up like that, it's just such a bad look, man. And to have your whole family there too, I guess your retirement fight, but like it's not like you're a Poirier. Like Poirier, bring the family because there's a good chance you might win against Holloway, or at least you won't be like brutally finished like how Smith was. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm still not a fan of bringing children to the events. I'm soft like that. It's such a bad look. But yeah, I mean, That's a great memory for the family that you guys will be talking about every Thanksgiving. Your retirement fight, but yeah, either way, I wish Anthony Smith the best in his retirement. I hope they keep him around on panel. I looked away, but I saw he was getting into it with the fan. Weird moment. I don't know what was said. I don't really care either, but yeah, that's how Anthony Smith goes, and absolutely criminal, criminal that he got a tribute like that, but Stipe didn't get anything. What was that? Like, like I saw a few theories on it on why, and it's like, oh, it's because he didn't take the knee from Jones or take the one away from Jones or whatever. I was like, no, they're just doing this because he's on the panel. I guess he is usually a yes man for the company, which makes sense. Like, I just can't believe like how like it's just like I totally forgot about the Stipe not getting it. Like that bothered me for like the first 2 weeks after that John Jones Stipe fight happened, and now I got reminded of it when I watched the 5 minute tribute for Anthony Smith. So I was so fun for the whole family. I'm so glad I was able to watch that. So Ming Yang Zhang though looks solid. Honestly, I don't want them to keep. I don't want them to rush him up the rankings. Let me even see where he is at in the rankings. Let's see real quick, actually. Well, the rankings won't come out yet, so I assume Anthony Smith's definitely still ranked with. Oh, he's number 15. Okay. How is Alonzo Menefield 14? What? Light heavyweight needs more. So, yeah, I think with Ming Yang Zhang, I'm fine with him versus Johnny Walker actually at number 11. I didn't want to jump him up 4 spots right away, but I'm kind of fine with that. But unless they might have rebooked the Goose Cough and Johnny Walker fight now that I think about it, but who knows? So yeah, but that's kind of fun. So we'll see what happens with that. Actually, I kind of want to look at this now. Let's match make Ming Yang Zhang. I think that's what I'm trying to do right now. So let's see. I just want to see if these guys actually have upcoming fights. Because I don't want to put him against Azamat Mirzakhanov. It's like the same situation with the John Silva and Onama. I want them to fight down the line, get some of these old guys out of here that aren't doing anything, like a Johnny Walker or something like that. So let's see where Ming Yang Zhang will be. I don't know. Regional, worldwide, light heavyweights. Okay, so Ozma is fighting Johnny Walker. Okay, on June 7th. Was that the O'Malley card? I think that is. I hate to say it, but Krylov, you got to fight down. Ming Yang Zhang, Krylov. That should be a pretty fun fight. I don't even know if Ming Yang Zhang wins that. As impressive as Anthony Smith thing is. I guess if Nikita's out there just throwing like Juliana Pena in exchanges, yeah, I think he's going to destroy him. But if Krylov comes out there a little more technical and everything, then I think he's got a good shot to win this. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, let's do Krylov versus Ming Yang Zhang next. Great win from Ming Yang Zhang. On to the next fight, the last fight, the main event. This is where I won the money, thankfully. Um, Actually, it's kind of disgusting at the same time because Ian Gary is insufferable. Oh my gosh, he's so annoying. Uh, However, he looked really good, especially in those first 3 rounds. He looked really, really good. I think he definitely does not deserve a title next. That's the thing. And if Buckley beats Usman, I'm gonna switch back to Buckley, deserving it more than him. But as of right now, if they need some, I don't know. Either way, yeah, Ian Gary looked really good. I really liked the jab high kick combo that kind of offset Pratas from ever getting comfortable. Leg kicks were always there too. Pratas just didn't land anything. He was just way too patient the whole time, just letting Gary just pick him apart. I know people are kind of, shitting on Gary for his takedowns and how many he failed. He did fail a lot, but the ones that he did land, the very few, they look pretty solid. They look beautiful. Like his wrestling and grappling has definitely gotten better. Um, I'm still not elite. I mean, it's serviceable though. It's good enough where you can mention it, in a fight where he's facing a straight up striker. I still think Leon Edwards, even at this point, stuffs all the takedowns and everything. But I think there's a few guys he might be able to give some issues in terms of grappling. But he's kind of good at just shutting down people's game plan. Like he's he's not gonna fight that exciting anymore, and that's not even a problem. Going back to the Gutierrez thing, like if it wins you fights, like it wins you fights, like it's annoying. Like I don't want to see people Bautista out there, like I don't, but you know, if that's what wins, that's how it's got to be. So gosh, he's so annoying though. Like even when I won all that money, it was like one of my biggest wins in a while. I was just like sitting there, and I was just like disgusted with myself. I'm like, wow. It's like I really just won the most money in like maybe since like the Taporia fight. No, I don't. I think I won some since then, but since the Taporia Holloway, but like it just didn't feel good because I'm betting on one of the most, if not the most insufferable UFC fighter, and that's a tough trophy to give out. There's so many, but yeah, the fourth round, Prates landed like I believe it was a couple jabs that were like they really like got to Gary, and then that fifth round was craziness. Um, I don't understand why Prates didn't stick with the ground and pound more. Like the shots that he was hitting Gary with, they were stunning him. Like probably the hardest Gary ever got hit. And I know Gary took like maybe one or two big shots from like a Shavkat and MVP, but oh, and he got dropped by Hassan Kanan. I forgot about that too. But no, I meant Prates ground and pound looked like it was there, but he just kind of like gave up on it. It's just whole thing. So Prates deserved to choke that. I mean, yeah, I don't know what they do with him next, but yeah, it's you know, Ian Gary just kind of wouldn't say made it look easy, especially after that fifth round, but he did pretty well, honestly. I was pretty impressed for a guy that I can't stand at all. So go win for Ian Gary. Um, I don't know what you do with him next. Maybe like Leon Edwards. I'm fine with. I don't want him to get Buckley. I think I've grown so accustomed to coping, um, and giving people title shots now when they go on win streaks, because most of the other times people are coming off of one fight win streaks, and you know even like O'Malley literally losing and getting an immediate shot for doing nothing. So I'm coping. I'm like thinking, okay, so Brady and Shavkat don't fight each other. It goes Shavkat, Brady, Buckley, and then Ian Gary. But now eventually these guys probably got to fight in a title eliminator. Like I don't feel like Buckley needs to fight after beating Usman again after all that he's done last year. And I don't feel like Brady needs to fight after destroying Leon Edwards, who literally was champion a year ago. I don't know. I feel like welterweight, like I'm fine with those guys sitting back and doing nothing, just waiting on their shots. I hate to say it, but I mean those. I think those three guys have earned a title shot. Ian Gary, you saved two events, so I think you're one win away. Go out there and do the same thing you did to Leon Edwards. If even if it's boring, you'll get next shot after Buckley. But either way, great card. Best card since I've started doing this in terms of predictions. I had 11 of the 14 right. Some of the tough losses, like we already talked about, was the Michel Pereira fight and the Jimmy Flick. But even the Flick and the Chikadze one is like they were just one round away from being right, even though I had Flick by submission second. But yeah, I'm excited for the Des Moines card. A few tough ones to predict. I already picked everyone, but I'm going to save that for a separate video. Ian Gary, you did not deserve a title shot. Go be backup. I don't care. That would be actually funny if one of them pulls out because I think you get dismantled by both. I think JDM KOs you. I think Bilal mauls you on the ground. So, um, kind of hope one of them pull out just so Ian Gary can get dismantled. But a lot of people also thought Protez was going to do that, which he did not. So, shout out to Ian Gary for proving doubters wrong. Um, and essentially just going out there and winning. Wow, I can't believe those words came out of my mouth. Shout out to Ian Gary. Crazy statement. But, you know, whatever. All right, YouTube. Well, that is it. So, ah, gosh, I hate this life sometimes. Whatever.